now.
2, 1.
Big game of Hearthstone.
Are you playing the theme song?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Shh.
I tried that life but said goodbye. I'm not always polite, but I'm just done. Who says the world can never be fun? I'm simply unprofessional. Simply unprofessional.
Let me know when the theme song's over.
Good evening, everyone.
Give up.
Well,
Give up.
I mean,
This is why none of you are regulars.
Every
that's
time,
the typical,
every goddamn time I have Chris or Austin on an SU, they talk the whole time during the theme music. Every time. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Simply Unprofessional. I'm your very disgruntled host, Webby, and join me tonight, we got Edquist,
Hey, guys.
and we got Austin.
Guys, I'm reporting live from Louisville. It's crazy. There's
Whatever,
stuff
you've been
going on.
pooping for the last hour, no one cares. And we got Tamara,
Hi.
and we got Devin,
Hey.
and we got Chris,
Oh, that's trippy. Oh, hey.
who's crunching the whole time.
Like Clay's jaw.
Oh,
That's true. Well, it's less bad now.
It is. It is not the bad.
Okay, so hey, I reached out to a
What?
bunch of people, and we're gonna reach out to the chat as well. So start putting in your questions in the chat if you want questions answered or advice. I reached out to quite a few people, and I got some. Again, I explained this at the beginning. Some of them are somewhat serious. Some of them are personal. Some of them are silly. So, but we will go through this list of questions. So, number one, let's just use Cheeky's because she's our number one super fan. When was the last time we pooped? I pooped in between Town of Salem games. So we'll go down the line in order of this call. I'll go Austin next.
regardless to, I guess, popular opinion, this morning,
All right.
I see
I
in
don't
the
know
chat
why
that
my webcam thing won't pop up properly. I don't know why. Whatever. It's fine. I'll just turn it off. Devin, what about you?
About 11:46.
Wow, that's very,
He knew the
very
time.
specific.
he sent the text then and he knew it.
Edquist, what about you?
This morning before I jumped on the call with you and Devin.
Well,
That's why I was like, give me a minute.
yep.
We are, so far, everybody has really healthy bladders.
Everybody's regular.
Tamara, what about you? When was the last time you defecated?
Well, that would be this morning when I woke up at about 8:30.
Nice.
Did we all eat five
Yes.
arrows?
And Chris.
Fiber. Oh, what the? Generic cereal. The last time I pooped was
Currently.
like literally now.
All right. He
No,
is on the cane currently.
No, I'm pretty sure it was 3 p.m. yesterday.
Oh, Chris.
Wow.
You
all
need to
right.
have that checked out.
Yeah.
You might
Yeah.
I just haven't really eaten much.
You're not regular. That's not
Right.
Eh,
It should be like a clock. You should be able to set your watch by it.
eh.
good.
Maybe.
I don't know why it's not working.
Devin can.
All right. Moving on, we have a question from A from Atlanta. I did keep, like I said earlier, we gave everybody a letter and a town for anonymity. So,
I'm an anemone.
I'm a anonymity. So the question is, what advice might you give to others about growing older? Don't do it too fast.
Yoga.
There's a
Keep
definite
yourself
cutoff.
limber. You are going to hurt all over all the time forever. Do yoga.
Don't exceed expectations because there's definitely a cutoff. Does that make sense?
No.
Good.
Oh, like
Perfect.
I think what he's getting at is don't like give 100% of the time, because the person that you're giving to will only recognize up to like 70% work before there's no extra reward.
I'll go with that.
Like, you can't give all of yourself all the time, before you just burn yourself out.
Yeah. Tamara, what about you? What kind
was
of
the
advice?
question?
What advice might you give to other people about growing older?
Don't.
Yeah, that was my same advice. Also, don't take things too seriously because none of us make it out alive. We all
Right.
die. So
Wear shoes in the house, so if you stump your toe, it
No,
doesn't hurt as bad.
don't wear shoes in the house. That's
Don't do that.
disgusting.
What if there's spiders?
In all seriousness, though, my personal opinion here, which I think I'm the youngest one in this call, maybe outside of
Chris, maybe?
Chris.
But I think the even though if growing old, the biggest thing is don't limit yourself. Don't say I can't do this because I'm old. That's a bad sign. You can be old. You can still take care of your body. You can still take care of your mind. You can still have fun. Take care of yourself. That's the biggest advice. Take care of yourself across the board.
Devin, insightful. I like it.
All right. Edquist, do you have any advice?
I was doing stuff on the stream. I do not know what the question was.
Cool.
Apparently, you can't multitask as you get older.
No.
I guess we know who the real co-host here is. So, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I could end the stream and then there's no shows.
All right. Question is, what advice would you give to somebody else about growing older?
About growing
Older.
old.
Yeah. Older.
I mean, it's not that different. I mean, I don't feel really any different than I did when I was a teenager, other than, like Devin said, my body is like, nah, can't do that.
Yeah.
But mentally, I feel the same as I did when I was a teenager. It's just you learn new things. Sometimes your opinions change based on information, but I don't know. It's not really any different. One thing is make sure that you can live.
Yeah. Don't let other people tell you who to be.
Yeah. Be yourself, because if you aren't and then you find that a lot of time has gone by, you feel like you've wasted a lot of time. So.
I'm wasting a lot of time trying to get this damn webcam to work. It's just not on our call. It's just not happening. Devin's is the only one working. It's
Apparently,
frustrating. Mine just rotates in circles for a million years, so everybody can just see my little icon flipping the bird.
Well, they can see me on the stream. It just
God is gonna see me apparently.
Well, like mine isn't working because, like I said, I have my.
We can look at your feet,
Well,
Tamara.
We can look at your feet. All right. So the next question is B from Bradbury. What is something minor or seemingly insignificant in your life that actually contributes greatly to your happiness? Podcasting for me.
Yeah.
So just doing this for all of you guys and everybody who's listening, and doing this with all of you guys who are participating, is definitely the highlight of each of my weeks. Let's go, Austin. What about you?
Well, of course, like doing this is great, and it adds a lot to me. But I don't really consider it like a minor part of my life. But listening to podcasts is something that I think very much helps me get through the day.
Okay.
The day to day.
Tamara, what about you?
Streaming, my cats, booze.
All right, Chris.
Things that get me by from day to day. Yeah, I'd say listening to podcasts, and honestly, I'm gonna get kind of sappy for a second, but my girlfriend really inspires me to be the best person that I can be, because I'm super impressed with what she puts up with just her day-to-day life, because she's a teacher. So I figure if she can do it with as much grace and as much as much gusto as she does every day, then I could take on a small army.
Okay, I wouldn't necessarily put a girlfriend into the minor or
Insignificant?
seemingly insignificant category.
Well, she's a whole like separate person. She has her own life, so it's like she is a major part of my life. Yes, but she also is like it's those minor things, the things that I notice. That's more what I'm talking about.
Okay, all right. I can
It's
get
not
behind that.
her as a person. It's the things that she doesn't really recognize. Those minor things to her mean a lot to me.
Right.
Can I copy that also? So just in
Nope.
case everybody hears, I'm not in the
Nope.
doghouse.
You can't. Devin, what about you?
For me, it is very much like what you said, Webby. It is just doing this, podcasting. But to also get sappy for a moment, honestly, just kind of my daily chats with you. They seemingly would be insignificant, but they mean a lot. They mean a lot, Webs.
I appreciate that.
You guys can't hear that and not want to get Webby to Gen Con to Devin. You can't hear that and not want that. Donate.
Also, too, small interruption, but a quick shout out because I think it's deserved. Shout out to B. I hope she feels better. I know she wanted to be here, but apparently she's under the weather.
Yeah.
So shout out to B.
Feel better. Edquist, can you do me a favor? Stop trying to show your webcam on on Discord.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop showing my webcam. It's like
I'm trying to get this to work.
I'm the only one. It's like
No, I mean,
I'm trying everything.
on the
It works.
stream, my camera is up, so you and
I need my Webby nose wiggle.
I know that's what I'm trying
That
to
is the
do it
other
for.
that is the other insignificant thing that gets me through my life. Just the Webby nose wiggle.
Okay. So C, we got question number 3. C from Chicago.
Hang on.
That's okay. I don't need to answer.
Oh,
that.
Edquist, yeah. Well, I saw you.
Apparently,
were
I'm an insignificant part of your.
Well,
Oh,
No, you
we have established in the past week that you are the number 2 Rob, and
No, not the number
Apparent-
2 Rob. Goose is the cool Rob. I'm the hot Rob.
oh,
This is
okay,
what-
okay. I forgot how it was ordered. Yeah, you're right.
Hot Rod. Love it.
we need to get you all shirts that say "cool" and "hot."
No, then you have to have like I'm with cool with the arrow, and then I'm with hot.
Yes.
Or have one with both and have them pointing to each one side and then the other and walking between us.
We could have their names, but one of them can be in flame and the other one can be in ice cubes.
Nice.
So, Edquist, what's your answer to this?
I mean, mine is pretty much the same, so it really didn't matter if you skipped me. But yeah, like hanging out with you guys, doing streaming, doing podcasts. Like the days that I don't get to do it, I can tell a marked difference in how my day is. Like Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm just kind of like, because I don't get to hang out with any of you or do any of this stuff, and I can tell like it definitely improves my whole week.
See, we're all just one big happy family here. We make each other happy. All right, don't break us up. All right, so C from Chicago says, "What is a great regret of your life?" That one's a tough one.
Whoa.
That was an easy one for
No.
me.
Way to bring the
Devin-
stream down, man.
Devin, let's start. Let's start with you, Devin, since you have an answer for it.
Biggest regret of my life is letting other people make decisions for me or sway my decisions on what I should do with my life early on. I was talked out of a lot of what hindsight would have been good decisions based on other people's opinions. So
Fair. All right, Austin, what about you?
I guess this is gonna feel savvy too, and I don't like doing it. But
Hey, hey, if you guys are getting sappy and sad over this question, some of these other ones get kind of hard. All right, just throwing that out there.
I think my biggest—it's not even sappy; it's just honesty. It feels weird to say this on stream, but like me and my girlfriend were together when we were 15 or 16, and we like broke up for stupid reasons for 10 years, and then we got back together. So I would my if I could take back a regret, I think it would be that. I think I would try to work it out back then, so we would have those 10 years.
All right. Tamara, what about you?
Well, I think you all know what it is, but
The viewers and the listeners.
yeah, I know. That would be my ex-husband, pretty much. The entire relationship after I got pregnant, because I should have walked away. I should have walked away instead of letting fear rule my decisions, and also not be such a doormat for so many freaking years of my life. I'm still a fucking doormat, but I'm trying. So yeah, that's like my ex, the biggest fucking regret in my life.
All right, Chris.
Biggest regret, probably. I was gonna say getting married back in the day, but if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have discovered podcasting, and I wouldn't have met you guys. So I don't know. Just I think my biggest regret would have to be not being more honest with myself about certain situations in my life. Because I tried to hold on to what I thought I knew and what I thought I wanted. And I know I'm speaking very cryptically, and I apologize for that, but yeah.
I understand. I mean, that can be, that's human nature, man. If something bad happens, your first thought in life is to try to ignore that, and just you want to see good things happen. You know, it's just you strive for those things to happen to you, even if the signs are pointing in all the opposite directions.
Right.
Edquist, what about you?
Starting off with the heavy ones, Webby.
Hey, you know what? I didn't order these in any specific way. I just put them down as I got them. So,
I mean, I guess mine would be trying to be straight for so long. I mean, I ended up getting married, and the marriage just fell apart because I'm gay. So, and that's just, I should have just not been so afraid when I was younger and just been who I was.
Always be true to you, Rob.
Yeah, and I get that. It's hard sometimes because people put pressure on you. And I mean, I get it. I get why you didn't, but yeah, you're right. Be you.
I love you, Rob.
Yeah.
We all love you, Rob.
We do.
I know, and that's why I like hanging out. That's why you guys are the brightness of my week.
Aww.
You just made me smile.
My answer, you guys are probably going to feel is a cop-out. And I'm sorry to you guys and the listeners. I don't have any. I don't regret anything. If something bad happens in my life, or if I've made a mistake in my life, everything that has happened has made me who I am today.
Mm.
And if I had gone back and done it differently, I might not be the same person I am. So I choose to not dwell on what I've done wrong in the past and just take each wrong step as a learning curve. So,
You know, that is a really positive way to look at that, because it's not like, what would you take back? If it was what would you take back, you could probably pick something, but what do you regret? Yeah,
right.
I like that, Webby. I like it. I also have another regret, though.
If you feel like sharing it, you can.
The horse joke.
No,
God.
we're not leaving that
Not at all. Not at
I
all.
had no idea
down. That it would
It was
blow up
gonna-
like that?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be one and done.
And now you discovered something that you didn't know before. So, I mean, we're really proud of you for. I mean, you're disgusting, and and just
Thought this was a safe
I
place.
mean,
terrible.
it's us, Austin. Do we ever let anything go?
Yeah, no, like, I wasn't saying. Like, I was just saying that you Austin, as you are disgusting. But yeah.
All right, so moving on, we have E from Edmonton writes, "Do you have any lessons for best approaching love and relationships when you're single?" I can answer this, and my only advice for that is don't go looking for it.
Yeah,
Don't-
stop caring.
Yeah, essentially, just stop.
Don't give up. Just
Yeah.
let yourself be open to it when it finds you.
Let it happen. That's all I can really say.
And when you see your moment, you see your opportunity, seize it. Sorry, I'm biting your whole like.
No, that's
thing
fine.
here.
It's
Sorry.
me and you were on the same page about that.
Yeah, man.
So-
When you see your moment, take it. If it doesn't work out the way you thought it would, move on, man. It's all good.
Yep, exactly. What about Devin?
Kind of the same thing, number one thing, I think the most important is just, have confidence in yourself, regardless of whether you're with someone or you're not. Kind of, have respect for yourself, regardless across the board, but don't try too hard. Don't look for it. It'll come your way, but don't let opportunity slip you by.
Right.
But
yeah.
definitely don't go out there always chasing it down, because you're probably not going to find what you're looking for at that point.
And don't be like me. I am that person where legit I fall in love way too easy.
That's not a bad thing.
I mean, it can be. It leads to a very painful road in life, or it can. But I'm just way too fast to trust and way too fast to fall in love. I don't know. You got to take your time.
Aww.
So, Austin, what about you?
I think have fun,
Yeah.
because don't, like they said, don't worry about it. Like, become friends with somebody first, because if you're going and looking for love and you're only looking for the things that are love, then you don't connect on a different level.
Right.
So I think if you're friends first, you can end up loving a friend. But I think you take a bigger risk if you try to love first and then
discover that you don't like the person.
Right.
Yeah. And I'll throw this out there too. Personally, I believe that the friend zone, quote unquote, is a self-imposed hell.
No, man,
doesn't
that
exist.
shit's real. That shit's real.
Yeah,
I
it's
believe
very much real.
firmly in the
No.
friend zone.
No,
I think you can get out of the friend. The friend zone is not a place where you cannot get out
self-imposed.
of the friend zone. It's not self-imposed in the sense of okay. If you've gotten in the friend zone, 9 times out of 10, you've gotten yourself in the friend zone. But the first step in order to getting out of the friend zone is you need to realize why you're in the friend zone. You need to acknowledge you're in the friend zone and realize why you're in the friend zone.
Could I explain? Like, could I define like the friend zone as I know it real quick, so we are all on the same page?
Sure.
The friend zone is the moment where a suitor decides to stick around after the pursued person says that they are not looking for what the suitor is offering. So, if it was a guy chasing a girl, then it's like, well, she said no now, but if I hang around and I keep being a good dude, she'll see that and maybe she'll fall. That's a self-imposed hell.
But see, not necessarily though. The reason why that is because you're not, like, for instance, if you meet a random, if a guy meets a girl or a girl meets a guy or a guy meets a guy, whatever, it doesn't really matter. If you approach someone and you bring up, okay, you bring
Being
up,
in the
okay,
friend zone
I
is
want to go
not
out with you,
being
and they turn you down. Then most people don't find themselves in the friend zone in a random encounter. There was a friendship there first.
Yeah.
And then you brought up the idea of a romantic relationship and it was turned down. But then you have to question yourself of, okay, we've been friends for 5 years. Yes, this is awkward for me. This is hell for me. But is it worth me giving up a 5-year friendship over is just walking away because she doesn't want what I want or he doesn't want what I want.
I think you and I are tracking. Like, yeah, it's like, but being in the friend zone means that you are choosing not to genuinely be their friend because.
I see what you're saying.
Yes
It's
and
like
no. I mean, you can't necessarily if you have true
friend zone means you're hoping for
someone,
something more.
It's true, but you can't. If you have a real feeling for someone, you can't just turn those off sometimes. So it's like if we've been friends for 5-6 years, and then next thing I know, hey, I have feelings for you. That's not just going to turn off because I asked you. I want to make this more, and you said no. So and then the question comes, okay, well. And there has been serious questions where people have to have serious conversations about this. I've been there where it's like, okay, look, I want this. You don't want this. So this is...
Well, yeah, the friend zone is when you make it someone else's problem.
I can't get past that. No, not necessarily. You have to acknowledge it. Like, I can't get past that because this is really what I want. I can't get past that. So we need to reevaluate our relationship. It's a thing that it happens. You make an adult decision. If you choose to stick around and you're trying to constantly win that person over, that there's more to the friend zone than just being in that niche. There is a niche of the friend zone that is literally, I'm just going to stick around until this person changes their mind. And then that's never going to happen because I can get in a whole other conversation of the whole air quotes, nice guys finish last kind of a thing, which isn't necessarily true. It's needy guys finish last, but that's a whole other conversation for a whole other day.
Yeah. And speaking of conversations for another day, I think we've death with you and I. So how about we move on to the next question?
How about the other people answer this one?
Drew.
That works also.
Tamara.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any lessons for best approaching love and relationships when you're single?
Well, now that I sat here and rolled my eyes through the whole friend zone, which I won't go any further into, basically, date your friends. If you can't be friends with them, you can't really have a relationship with them. That's my whole opinion. I mean, everyone I've ever dated has been a friend first. And, the only one that sucked balls and failed completely and utterly, and I'm not still friends with, is my ex-husband. But he was a gaslighting son of a bitch, so we won't go into that. Fucking hang out, make friends. Pursue it if you're interested. If it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't go anywhere. And don't be a sad ass because they decided they don't have romantic feelings for you if it falls through.
Yeah.
That's basically it. I mean, just go out, make friends, live your life, and things will happen. I mean, when you're out there going, oh, nobody loves me, it's like, actually, a lot of people probably love you, but you're too busy hating on yourself to see it.
That's me.
Right.
That's
That is-
I'll raise my
that's a
hand.
true statement.
And I mean, take it as it is, because I mean, not all relationships are going to last forever. You know what? Even the ones that don't last are still valid. They're still important. They're still love.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe you go through your life only ever having 2 5-year, a whole bunch of 5-year relationships or whatever. That's valid. That's still love. You still lived your life. And if you can remain friends with them afterwards, fucking A. Like I said, I'm still friends with all of my exes except for the one. And
Same.
I don't regret any of that. Except my ex. But again, we're not going into that. But yeah, just go with it. I mean, this whole idea that you have to have one true love and they'll be with you forever is just so much bullshit. Just love. And if you love more than one person, go love more than one person. If that's what feels right, if that's what feels good, go and fucking do it. Don't let society and these rules that other people made
with the consent of everyone involved.
Yes. As long as everything's consensual and with full knowledge, yes. Do it properly. Communicate. That's the big one. Fucking communicate. Talk to each other.
Yeah.
You don't talk to each other, everything's going to fall to shit.
100%
I agree.
agree.
100%. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Mainly,
Yeah, follow that.
I think it's respect people, just in general. Whether they're your girlfriend, whether they're your boyfriend, whether they're a friend, whether they're a stranger, just fucking respect people, guys.
Yep.
I think that's what this world needs.
Yes, life is not a fucking romantic comedy. That's it exactly, Kurt. Fuck those romantic comedies. God.
Hey now, listen. I like a good rom-com.
I love a good rom-com.
They're
And to be fair,
entertainment. Don't take them as life advice.
well, don't. I mean, every situation is unique. I know people who have met like their life is a rom-com and they're happy together. You know,
Fair.
it's different across the board. I mean, everybody's, everything's going to be a little bit different.
All I'm saying is if I met a girl from the future who could write to me in a mailbox, I'd fall in love instantly. I wouldn't matter.
Yeah,
Are you? I'm sorry. Are you that movie?
Listen. Moving on, Edquist. What about you? What, how about you? Let's answer the damn question, Edquist.
I now have a question.
I'm sorry. I'll have to mute for a second.
No.
Edquist, just go ahead and unmute. Let Tilly give her answer, and then you give her yours after that.
You're good, Webby.
No, she stopped barking. I just wanted Devin.
You're good, Webby.
Listen, it was the first one that came to mind. All right.
1997 all over again.
I thought Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I don't know.
You want to try to kill each other, Austin?
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, sometimes those relationships work out. I'm just.
They do. I'm the strangest of ways.
I mean, other than the things that people like, definitely be friends first is usually the best way to go about it. Also, try to like yourself, because if you like yourself, that'll come through to other people, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay." If there are some things that you don't like about yourself, I mean, everyone has those, but I mean, like, generally like yourself as a person and who you are, and that kind of shines through to other people, and they start to like you too.
You gotta live your truth.
Fair point. All right, moving on. F from Fayetteville. What is the most beautiful place you've ever been?
Beautiful.
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 Yep. Beautiful. Shush. I'm not a wordsmith. I can't word today.
I am not a wordsmith.
I cannot have words. See, Cat, it happens to me. Devin, we're starting with you. What's the most beautiful place you've ever been? That's the new word from now on. It's no longer beautiful. It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Oh my god.
All right, what was the question? I'm sorry. I was laughing through. I don't know. What was the question?
What is the most beautiful place you've ever been?
Most beautiful place I've ever been.
Yes.
Oh, man. That's hard.
I was just quoted now in chat. Thanks, Shikati. Thanks.
That's hard. Off the cuff, what's the most beautiful place I've ever been? That's hard.
I mean, if you really want to, you can answer Detroit. All of us will judge you for it. I've seen RoboCop. I know what Detroit looks like.
Oh, you mean Robot Jesus?
Yes.
Behind
the
it's
KFC.
true. Look it up. Man.
Do you want me to come back to you?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let's go, Austin.
So I can't. All right. I went to Texas for one of my cousins' AIT graduation or something like that, and we go down to these little canals, and they're like water canals. You can go on boats, but like it looks like Venice, Italy, where there's buildings on each side. You can go eat and go. So I don't know why, but I thought it was Venice. Like I was like, how the hell? Like
how did we get here? Did we just get teleported?
Well, I think it was more like I wasn't putting together that Venice was in Italy. I was like, oh, I didn't know this thing was here. Like we just stumbled upon it. But so like in my mind, I'm in Italy a little bit and like looking at Venice, and it's just awesome. So I
He was in Little Italy.
Right.
Yeah.
So you were somewhere in Texas, and that was the most beautiful place.
Yeah, it was San Antonio, I think.
All right. Tamara, what about you?
It is a toss-up between two places.
Okay, you can name them both if it's a tie.
The first one would be Maui. It's technically really the only other place I've been that isn't in Canada, or within 300 or 400 kilometers of where I am. Because it's gorgeous there. It's just everything is gorgeous there. It's just ridiculously gorgeous. And then home, the farm I grew up on in Lake Isle. It is. I mean, I think you guys have seen some of the photos I post sometimes. It's just gorgeous, especially in summer, and it's just beautiful.
You
and
posted
it's
some
so
the other day, didn't you?
yeah, it's so quiet and everything when you don't have a bunch of idiot cottagers on the lake. Yeah, and honestly, like if there was any way that I could actually make it work, that's where I'd be living right now. But I can't. So
All right.
that and there's no internet there. That's the only problem. There's no
That's a
internet.
downside. Edquist, what about you?
I have a tie between 3.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
St. Thomas. I went there on a cruise, but it was really nice. Like the water around it is like the most beautiful blue you've ever seen, and we went to this lagoon where there were like waterfalls and stuff, and it was really a really nice place. The other 2 would be the Badlands, which the sand formations are like really pretty, and they cover the entire land basically, and then the redwood forest.
All right.
Mm.
Chris, what about you?
Okay, so while I was living in Scotland, when I first met you guys, every morning I would get up at about 6 a.m. and I'd take the bus into town because I didn't drive while I was there. And the bus took this path through these trees, and when the trees cleared, you were on top of this hill, and you had these rolling emerald hills with the sun just peeking over them. And that's how I started my day. It was in Kirkmore or Blackwood, Scotland, and yeah, that the silver sky and the golden light streaming through the tree line was gorgeous, and I don't think I'll ever forget it.
All right. Devin, we're coming back to you.
New Orleans during Mardi Gras. That was. There you go.
All right. Fair. Mine, I mean, I haven't traveled a lot. I was always that friend who, growing up, everyone was like, dude, you're never leaving New Hampshire, are you? It's like, nope, I don't have a need to. Mine is a tie. I would say same thing as Austin, almost. Texas, when I lived down there, was gorgeous. Just especially during thunderstorms, you can see forever, and you can see all the bolts of lightning come down, and you can see the clouds roll in. It's great. Waking up to tornado sirens was not fascinating, but the other place that's tied with that is probably out on the ocean. My dad's fishing boat. It's just everything's so quiet, and again, I have a fascination with places that you can just see forever. Like you just stare out, and it just goes on and on and on. So those are my answers.
Nice.
Kurt
You like
says
Saskatchewan.
Kurt says Philippines and Japan for him. Cheeky says the woodland and calendar up in Scotland. The autumn sunset is amazing.
I will say another one would be I do enjoy New Hampshire in like the fall. It is a very gorgeous state. I just wish everybody from the surrounding states would stay the fuck home and not come here.
Leaf peepers?
Yeah, the goddamn leaf peepers. They legit they travel to here just to take pictures of fucking leaves. Go home. We don't want you.
They do that here too. Every fall, there's like tons of. We're just like, get out of our state.
Yep.
They don't know how to drive.
Terrible.
All right, let's see. G from Green Bay. In the course of your life, have you changed your mind about anything substantial? Jeez. I'm sure all of us have. Let's start with Tamara on this one.
Can you repeat that?
Yep. In the course of your life, have you changed your mind about anything substantial?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that is an answer to the question. You don't actually have to elaborate. We
Well,
want
no,
you to,
I
though.
mean, I'm going to. There's been a few things. I mean, I think the first big one would be on abortion. Because I was raised very, very conservative. And it was just like, abortion is bad all around. And then it slowly shifted in my early 20s to, I agree with abortion, but only to save the mom or because the baby is going to die anyways. And over time, it's shifted to your body, your choice.
Right.
I mean, even that very rare late term abortion where it's like the baby's dead anyways, and you're carrying around a dead baby, that's not fair to anybody. I've also changed my opinions on, I grew up being very racist towards Native Americans. Because that's what I was taught. It's their fault that they're in that state, blah, blah, blah. And I've come around to realize just how much bullshit has been fed to me through the years. And basically the entire LGBTQ community, especially trans people. Because, again, raised very much where it's like, if you're trans, you're either a woman in guy's clothing or a guy in women's clothing and that kind of bullshit. And so, I've had some major shifts on my whole outlook and morality throughout my entire life, and those are the big ones, right? Now I understand, 99% of what I fed was just complete utter bullshit. It was just racism and prejudice and sexism, and it's why I'm trying to be more outspoken, not just for myself, but for all these people in my life that fall under that spectrum,
Right.
that don't have a voice and don't have what little privilege I have, right? Because I'm a white woman, so I have a little bit more privilege than the trans people in my life and the POCs in my life. So I'm still a fucking doormat at times, but I'm trying. And those are the biggest shifts. And they're pretty fucking big when you think about it.
Right, yeah. Edquist, what about you?
I mean, mine's pretty similar. I was also raised very conservative, which is why I tried not to be gay, because I thought it was bad for the longest time. I thought I was basically messed up. And same thing, I used to vote Republican. I haven't for a while, but I used to. But my opinions on all those kinds of things have changed. I mean, my parents were definitely very conservative, and that's how we were raised. But when we got older, I do credit them for being more they weren't you need to believe what we believe. They were more find your own answers, because, we're an older generation. Sometimes things change. So now I disagree with a lot of stuff that they think, but I mean, they let me go and explore and find my own way. So,
All right. Let's go over to Chris, who is muted.
You did that shit intentionally.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so
something you changed your mind about. Something significant.
something I've changed my mind about?
Something substantial.
Well, from ages, I believe it was 10 or so, up until I was about 18. I was Christian. I was raised Christian. I was in choir and everything like that. And since then, I've decided that I'd rather go my own way. So that's a huge change. And telling my parents that I wasn't sure religion in general, and I would like to discover more answers on my own. That my parents are still very devout. And my mom tries to get me back into church every chance she gets, which I understand it. She's trying to appeal to the highest being that she knows with the most authority that she can come up with in order to save my eternal soul. So I understand it, but yeah, telling my parents that I'm an atheist, rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like a significant change from when I was younger. Yeah.
All right. Austin?
I'm pretty sure there's like been a lot, I guess. Not that I can think of. I know the religion thing was one. Like, I was never really religious, but my parents went to like Catholic schools and all that, and I believe in something higher. I just don't. It's not like the Christian stuff. But I think one of the biggest ones for me is not to be blindly loyal to anybody, even because they're family. Like of course, my close family, I still love them all the same. But there's been extended family that I feel like back in the day I would have died for, and they've proved that was a mistake. And
You got family that ain't blood and blood that ain't family.
right. That's one of the biggest quote, or like one of my favorite quotes is that family makes you blood. No, blood makes you related. Loyalty makes you family. So like, just because we have the same blood running through our veins doesn't mean that you're my family. Pretty much.
Yep.
And yeah, that's probably one of the biggest ones to me, because I don't know if people on here know, but my whole life I've been all about my family 100%. And then I had some stuff happened and it just changed my views.
All right. Devin?
Very similar to Chris, really. I mean, I was raised very religious in a religious family, and just that's kind of gone out the window for the most part, and just kind of reevaluated, and just a lot of my views in general have just changed.
All right. For me, I think the most substantial one was growing up. I knew about depression. My best friend had depression, but I always felt like it was a mental illness that I could beat. Like, that if you just had enough sheer willpower, you could get through it. I was drastically mistaken. I opted to actually try to get help for mine, and it was the best thing I've ever done. I'm still getting help. I'd say that's probably the most substantial one for me. So, because I do not know where I'd be if I didn't. That's for sure. Because I hit some pretty low points. So I'm gonna skip down this list a little ways.
Before you move on, I just want to make one statement.
Okay.
If anybody on my stream or on the Strictness Media stream decides that they're going to post crap like, I get the urge to kill LGBT people, you're getting a ban. And I will freaking report you too if I need to. Yeah. None of that crap. It's not cool. It's not funny. It's nothing. We'll ban you. You'll be gone.
Indubitably.
Do not post it ever.
That goes back to the whole respect thing. Like,
I just had to ban somebody. So if James Boolin comes on Distractions Media, ban him right away, please.
He gone.
Like, if you can't muster within yourself to be nice to someone, at least give both of you the peace of ignoring them.
Yeah, man, just like, treat others the way you want to be treated.
If you can't be nice, be neutral.
Yeah.
Webby, before we move on with your list, we have a question in the chat.
Okay.
Austin, what kind of breed of horse turns you on the most?
Question.
Oh, man.
He likes them big, thick, fuzzy boys.
Call back to Town of Samuel.
I
smell burnt toast. Call back to Town of Salem, an Appaloosa. God, I suck so bad.
Does anybody else taste vanilla? It tastes kind of vanilla in here.
It tastes yellow. The answer to that, of course, is the best breed for the Kentucky Derby, thoroughbreds, and
There you go,
Also-
Edquist. I don't know if you can ban them.
Oh my god.
They just showed up.
also
So,
I just
someone
wanna
else.
say,
I think Shikati did it already.
Good. All right.
thoroughbreds are beautiful.
Clydesdales, man. It's the
Hey,
Budweiser
James-
horse.
That motherfucker. Oh, sorry, I'm going on. That's the dude.
Yeah.
That we.
That's what I just pointed out.
Hey, James Bullitt. Never mind.
All
Not
right.
gonna sink in.
Moving on. Oh man, words hurt my brain. My brain hurts. I'm gonna jump down to T for a minute. T from Tulsa. What's the funniest thing you've ever said to someone you had a crush on? Okay, I'm gonna answer this one first. Okay. For those of you on Distractions, the Distractions podcast, you know that I started off listening to you guys as a fan. I used a fucking one-line opener that Austin fucking said, and it bombed so hard. I used the polar bear line.
Of course it bombed.
I didn't think about it.
He just thought it was clever. He was
I
like,
was like,
What's the
oh,
line?
that's not bad. That's not bad. And then I used it, and I was just like,
And then as the words are coming out of your mouth, you're
it's
like,
so
oh, this is
bad.
awful. This is terrible. Why am I doing this?
I was almost at the end of the line, and I was just like, this is not going to end well.
Why don't you refresh us what the line is?
So, essentially, it's, hey, how much does a polar bear weigh? Enough to break the ice. I'm never
thing
using
is-
it again, Austin.
not only did you quote Talon Nightbreeze, you also quoted Austin Shadowin.
That is two things that I guarantee will ruin your life.
Dude, okay, we have to acknowledge the significance of this right. Austin is acutely aware of how cringy himself and as Talon. But Patrick was like,
Listen, I was a fan at the time, alright?
He heard that. He was like, you know what?
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna try it. Hey, what did you say
He
though?
immediately regretted his life decisions.
What'd you say,
Augie,
baby?
Augie says the polar bear is one of my favorite pickup lines.
Well, I hope it works better for you, Augie, because it bombed for me.
I had one in the bathroom. What was the question, by the way? Or the pickup lines?
Oh, Shikati. If someone came to me with that line, I'd ask them, oh, are you okay, dear? Do you need medical assistance? All right, so let's...
My
Edquist,
answer is
what about
possibly.
you? What's one of the funniest things you ever said to someone you had a crush on? And Edquist refuses to answer.
No, I don't think I said anything really funny.
What about you, Tamara? You got one? Am I the only one here who has bombed so hard in such a
To
fashion?
be fair, I don't really hit on people very much because social anxiety and stuff. But I think the worst one would be something along the lines of "Hi," and then I trip on something and run away. Or no, I know what it is. I'm sorry, I got it. At a con, and I've suddenly forgotten the actor's name. The guy from Alien. He plays the robot from Aliens.
Okay.
Will Turner.
And was the star of Millennium.
Michael Fassbender?
No.
From
John Hamm.
No! Aliens! He was
Patrick
the
Stewart.
android from Aliens, people! Do I have to IMDb this shit?
Alpha 5.
Fuck you.
Was it Sonny from iRobot?
No!
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Lance Henriksen?
Lance Henriksen, yes.
Lance
He's
Armstrong.
signing autographs. He's almost done. My friend went and got the autograph because I was in line for somebody else at the same time. And so I'm like, he's leaving. He's pretty much unattended. So I'll go up and be like, can I shake your hand? I love you and everything. It's so awesome. And then he complimented my cosplay. I was dressed up as Red Sonja. Whereupon I went, oh, thank you. I literally did that. Then I ducked my head and ran away as fast as I could. So I think that would have to be the worst one ever.
Oh, I got one. I once asked someone I was like, oh, I like your tattoo. Is that a 4-leaf clover? When it was clearly a 4-leaf clover.
Austin, what about you?
Man,
How much does a polar bear weigh?
I was just gonna say that this is another one of those. Don't do this if you're looking for love. Don't do this. I was at a con also, and there was this. She was really, really pretty girl, and she was working like behind the comic. She was doing like selling comic books, and this whole con, I'm talking to Native Louisville Joe about. She's hot. She's like, I want to talk to her, and all these other things, and I basically waited till we were gonna leave, and I said, Joe, you walk outside. I'm gonna go back in here and talk to her. And he was like, all right. So I go up to the girl and I'm like, it's just, I'm sorry to bother you. It's stupid. My friend just bet me I wouldn't come back in here and, ask for your number. And she was like, oh, I have a boyfriend. I was like, I know, but it's cool. Can you just like maybe give it to me? Or I don't know if I said it like that, but I was like, just, for his sake. And she was like, can't you just tell him you got a number? And I was like, you're right, I'm gone. I mean, it was just,
Oh my god.
yeah, I got rejected so bad, and it hurt me, and I thought that was funny.
Devin, what about you?
I'm sweating.
This one's easy. Back in high school, there's a girl I like. She worked at Dairy Queen, and I knew she worked at Dairy Queen because I would go there after school a lot, and we would sit and talk to each other and laugh and talk. So one day I came in, and that was the day I decided to make my move. And my opening line was, isn't it funny that we keep meeting here? And I'm like, okay, this is really stupid. I've been seeing you here. We've been talking here for like past 6 months now. Yeah, it was really dumb. It was really, it was sad. It was a sad.
Did you get them digits though?
Chris, what about you?
No.
Don't sing too much. I'll do what I like, Kiki.
You're not my real mom.
Okay, I got a question from like way back in the day. I'm talking 4th grade. It was I was always like kind of a artsy kid. I was more into like reading and writing and stuff like that than I was like sports. But the thing is, I was never really any good at either sports or, writing. So I started like in 4th grade, everything they write is cringy, right? So we get this like this assignment in class to because we're learning about poetry and then reading about like some simpler like Shakespearean things, like what a sonnet is and different bullshit like that. So we we get this assignment to write a poem first thing in the morning, and we do so. And I wrote about this girl that I had a crush on, and then my teacher is like, well, I see there's a few, and you seem to be pretty proud of your work, so let's go around the class and start reading them out loud.
Oh no.
Let's not.
Oh boy.
Let's not.
Oh boy.
So that it's like, I'm a hopeless romantic at what, like, I don't know, 10 years old.
That's when you smack the kid next to you and offer to trade papers.
No, like, I wasn't that kid. I wasn't that smart at the time. So I was like, I guess, sure. And so I stood up next to my desk and I read out this like, well, it was like half a page. And it said her name like 4 times, and so everyone knew exactly what it was. It was a sonnet, because we had just learned about those. So yeah, that's the most cringy thing. And I just want to just go ahead and throw out another little detail. those same kids that were in that class, they all stayed with me through graduation. So I'm going to say like 90% of the classmates that I had in 4th grade, I also had in my graduating class. So like me trying to be the quote unquote like artsy hopeless romantic kid and also be like the class clown, and it just made people annoyed with me because I tried too hard. So yeah, that's my awkwardness.
All right.
It's my cross to bear.
Well, I mean, out of all of that, would you rather be the artsy kid who professed his love in 4th grade, or the guy who took pickup lines from Austin/Talon and tried to use them in a real world setting?
No.
Dude.
Let's make that a guy who took pickup lines from a fictional character made by a crazy person and used it in real life.
No, dude.
Oh my god.
I would rather be in your shoes, Webby, because that is.
Phew, I don't know, man.
I stayed with that same 30.
Fair. I
kid.
mean, fair. You were then Evermore the sonnet kid.
Like for the next 8 years of my life, I was the kid that was. My nickname in high school was "Hey Kid, Move."
Oh, man.
Aww.
Hey kid, move. Shit, I'm in the way. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of school, the next question we'll do S from the town of Salem.
Nice.
How do you deal with a bully at school, whether they're bullying you or a friend? Let's start this one off with Austin.
Punch him right in the nose. No, we
That
don't advocate that.
legit is going to be my advice. So,
It depends, I guess. I mean, it depends on what kind of person you are. I guess it depends on also what the bully is doing. If they're verbally bullying you, and you're not really the confrontational type, you could. Well, this is hard to answer. I need to know more details.
yeah, I mean, it can be hard to answer. Plus, I mean, you don't want to be responsible for,
Right. Somebody
Yeah.
punching somebody.
Right. Devin, you got advice?
For what, dealing with the bully?
Yeah. Whether they're bullying you or your friend at school.
Best advice in that situation I can give is first things first, obviously the cliched example is, always try to involve an adult or, somebody in power.
Yeah,
authority.
authority. Yeah.
Always try to involve that just because, especially nowadays, things can get really messy on both ends of the spectrum and you don't want that.
Right.
So that's my first level of advice. And then after that, the advice boils down to literally just, if they won't leave you alone, take care of yourself. That's, you gotta do what you gotta do. Take care of yourself if you can. If you can. It's not the greatest advice, but, there's countless stories around where, you have people, constantly telling, hey, I'm being bullied, I'm being bullied, and nobody doing anything about it.
Right.
So it goes a variety of ways, but try to involve some authority, whether it's your parents, depending on how old you are, or, a person in charge at school or at work or wherever the bullying is occurring. Try that first. That's always the first avenue, and then go from there.
Yeah. Tamara, do you have advice on this one?
Oh, this is a tough one. I was verbally bullied all through elementary, and then, high school is basically just a ghost. But I honestly, because I did some of that advice, I went to my mom and I told her, and I basically got either, what did you do to provoke them? Stop reacting because they're just trying to get a rise out of you.
Right.
Or suck it up, buttercup, basically. And when I went to teachers, I was either like, I'm having a conversation, don't interrupt somebody having a conversation, when I was trying to get their attention, or I'd stand there and wait for them to finish their conversation for them to talk to me, and they'd be like, why are you standing there staring at me? So, basically any person of authority in my life kicked my legs out from under me. I had nothing. I just basically had to sit there and take it because nobody was going to do anything. Honestly, if somebody If somebody had just sat down and talked to me, it probably would have helped. But I mean, suck it up, buttercup, love that saying. Yeah, Kurt, I don't. But it can be hard to find that adult that will listen. I realize that, and people telling you go to an adult. It's like, sure, and then what?
Right.
Basically, try not to take it to heart. I know that's really fucking lousy advice and really hard to do, but just realize that if you're in school, these people are not forever. You're going to graduate or leave or whatever, and you never have to have contact with them again in your life if you don't choose to. If it's cyberbullying, that's really tough. I mean, I didn't have internet until I was in my 20s, so I really can't help there, right? Like, just try and stay strong. Try and find somebody willing to listen.
Yeah.
Find an ally if you can. I mean, there's somebody else there that is just as bad off as you are, or worse, or not, and try and find them, make an ally of them. Then you're not alone. It's something.
Yep.
It's so difficult because there's no one solution. There's no one way to solve this. And fuck, I feel for you, man. Trust me, I fucking feel for you, and it sucks. Just know you're not alone. Keep fighting, keep living, keep breathing. Seek out allies. That's the best I can do.
All right, Chris, what about you?
I agree with everything that Tamara said, and everything that's been said thus far. But I'm going to go on the other side of the coin here. Not every villain has a tragic backstory. Some people are just assholes. So, there's no such thing as a quote-unquote fair fight. So get a fistful of dirt, put it in your pocket, and, old pocket sand technique, throw in their eyes, and, if you gotta fight, then fight. Because not every bully is going to try to get a rise out of you. Sometimes they just like to hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
True statement.
So, they're not trying to get you to react because they're being edgy. That's giving some people too much credit. Sometimes it's just they're a sociopath. So talking it out with your bully or finding a support group and things like that, sometimes that's not going to work. I say try all the other options first, and if none of that comes to pass, sometimes you just need to get in there, get your hands dirty, kick a bully's ass, and or even get your own ass kicked by a bully. The first time I confronted a bully physically, I got a few good shots in, but ultimately I'm comfortable in saying I lost that fight for sure. You know what happened? The bully realized that it was too much effort to continue bullying me, and he just... Because I went toe-to-toe. And I put up more of a fight than he was expecting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and again, there's no such thing as a fair fight. If you think that the bully will be carrying a weapon,
The weapon, the second you think that that's even a possibility, talk to an
Cops.
adult. Talk to an
yeah,
adult.
cops.
Tell them, because that's a serious thing.
Yeah, the moment that you think they're carrying a weapon, then just it doesn't matter if the adult is talking. Say, I think this person has a weapon and they mean to do me.
Right. Edquist, do you have a say on this?
I mean, if it's an option, you can do what I did and change schools. But yeah, I mean, I was
Connecticut, man. Fucking Connecticut. You guys got Taco Bells in the cafeterias and you can just change schools.
Well, the reason for that is, in middle school, I was bullied like a lot. Like there were 4 guys that were always picking on me, They would like push me down and stuff and pull my hair and say mean things all the time. So I ended up finally telling an adult about it, and they were talked to by the principal and the vice principal because everybody knew it was happening. So then after that, they kind of mellowed out a little bit, and every time they tried, some of the other kids would actually stick up for me, which was nice, but I didn't want to have to be like in the middle of two groups of people that were fighting out stuff. So the last straw was during an assembly at school, they sat behind me and they poured super glue on my chair.
Mhm.
So I ended up getting glued to the chair. And after that, I was like, you know what? But the assembly that it happened at happened to be because our state offers different programs. Like it's called VOAG, which is Vocational Agriculture and Tech. So you could go to a VOAG school or a tech school, where you would go to regular high school, but 2 of your classes a day were either had to deal with agricultural sciences or technology sciences. So I ended up going into one of those programs, which was at a different school. So then I changed schools, and I actually ended up making friends with the other people because only certain schools offered this. So there were schools from all over that sent people there. So we kind of just all hung out together, and my high school years were much better because I had a bunch of friends there and I wasn't really bullied.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's how I dealt with it, was leaving. I mean, I wasn't really necessarily interested in agriculture, but I said I was just to get out of there. And actually that's eventually what led to my current career as a dog trainer. So
it worked out for you.
it did.
Well, I mean, that's good. I mean, this is a very delicate and hard question to answer. I agree with everybody's statements that they've said so far. You got to look at it. Rule number 1: know your bully. If they are bullying you, say it's verbally. Start working on some good comebacks. Tell them that it's whatever they're doing, it's okay. Their life will get better. They don't need to take it out on other people. Because some bullies, like everybody said, they are just trying to bully you because, hey, their life is shitty and they want to bring you down with them to make themselves feel better. If they're physically bullying you, I was in that spot. I was a kid on a bus, and I would get slapped and hit every day by the same guy, same douchebag, and it got to the point where I would just go home crying. And my dad finally told me one day, he's like, the second he turns around to hit you again, curl up your fist, you slam him one right in the snot hole, and you make it a good fucking hit. And I did that the next day, because sure as shit, the bully turned around to go hit me, and I clocked him, and he never once turned around and fucking hit me again. I'm not saying that fighting solves these problems, but stand up for yourself. Let them know that you're not going to be pushed around, whether that's fighting, whether that's becoming better verbally, to be able to defend yourself, or whether that's letting them know that if they continue this shit, you're going to do something that will drastically change their outlook on life. Like get them in trouble, get them kicked out of school,
Yeah.
It's one of those really hard things. And
I'd like to bring up 2 more points.
Okay.
These days,
It's
there
way
are
harder these
cameras
days
on.
than it was.
Yeah, there are cameras on most buses. That hold up to a week, 1 week of footage before it like overwrites. So if you're getting harassed on the bus or in like kind of a public place like that, then request that they pull the footage.
Yeah. There are systems in place.
Yeah.
And well, the thing is, like, sometimes even standing up for yourself doesn't work, though. It makes it worse. That's what happened with me, because I finally got sick of. Because basically, it's mostly this one guy, and he would basically my nose grew for the rest of me, so he'd bark at me and call me a dog constantly. Like he would follow me down the hallways and bark at me, and say other things too. That was just the one that sticks in my head. And finally, one day, I turned around and said, "You're a pig," and I yoinked at him. And so he went to the teacher and told on me. Teacher dragged us both up in front of the class and said, "Did you call him a pig?" I'm like, "Yes, but only because he's been barking at me for the entire year and calling me a dog."
Right.
And the teacher turned to class and said, "Is this true?" And I had one guy that didn't like me at the time because I said something stupid because I had no filter. And he's like, well, she's been known to lie because I lied once. Once. Because you're a fucking kid. You lie. You're a kid, right? And it was over something stupid, like, no, I didn't bring that food into the computer lab. And so the teacher went, oh. And because of that one kid, he's like, I had to apologize to my bully. In front of everybody. And got a note sent home saying I was bullying somebody. And it just made the bully worse. And that's pretty much the last time I stood up for myself for the next, 15 years. So...
It can be tough. You know?
Sometimes there's no way out. And it sucks.
And
so, I mean,
there are usually cameras everywhere now.
Now, yes. But they don't always record sound, either.
True.
Another recommendation is, depending on what grade this bully happens to be in, make friends with somebody much bigger and meaner than that bully. Let them deal with your problem. I was that bigger, meaner guy growing up. My best friend, one of my best friends, Ross, he does the intro music for Simply Unprofessional. Tamara, he does some of your music for your streams too.
Oh, that guy, yes.
Growing up, he was my best friend. His family was my family, and his little sister was bullied by somebody that I knew very well. To the point where she came home crying one day, and she refused to take the bus to school, and his mother had to drive her to school and stuff. So I decided I'd pay him a little visit on the bus after school one day, and I had a very stern talk, and he never even looked at her again. We'll just say that. So, I mean, sometimes just, I don't know, get somebody bigger and meaner and scarier. Scare your bullies away, people.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
I got a solution for them.
So,
if you guys got bullies, if you guys got bullies, bring them to Gen Con.
Yeah.
We'll take care of them.
Just come let me know. I'll break people's legs. I don't care. What do I got to lose?
Oh, and in the chat, I put some links in for Kids Help Phone and the Teen Helpline as well.
That's good.
Just for anybody that might want them.
In fact, after the stream, or if you want to, can you send me those links, Tamara, as well on Facebook? And if I remember, I will put those in the Podbean when I publish this episode.
Will do.
So moving on, we're going to get a little bit out of the roughness here. I got one. Y from Yorktown. I've been going to a nerd bar, and I see people playing role-playing games. The same group there every week. They look like they're having so much fun. Can I ask them to participate, or am I stuck in the shadow realm?
Wait, say this. Will you say that again? Will you read it again?
So, this individual goes to a nerd bar every week. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And these things have been popping up, these RPG type style bars where people can go and they'll play role-playing games. He sees the same group of people every week, and it looks like they're having a whole lot of fun. I'm guessing this question is, can I ask to participate? Like, can I just go up and ask? Or is that a RPG faux pas? Like, should he not do that?
It never hurts to ask, I think.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I
I mean, unless they're just assholes in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you should be fine. Also, too, nice Yu-Gi-Oh reference there with the show.
Yeah. You know what? I think it depends on your approach as well. Like, approach is like, I see you guys playing here every day. I'm really interested in playing this as well. Do you have an opening, or do you maybe know a group that has an opening?
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect way to approach that.
Yeah, it's a nice little approach. It's not like, hey, can I join you?
Right.
Right? Like, you don't know me, but I've been watching you.
Right.
Kinda
Yeah, how creepy is that?
yeah.
Hey,
But it's like,
I've been
I've
watching
noticed
you
you.
for
Yeah.
several weeks now.
Yeah.
And then you do like
Okay,
the
so-
Mr. Burns finger thing.
I've been watching it
Yeah.
for a while. You didn't clean behind your ears the other day.
I mean,
So
like,
you
it
approach
just says,
them-
it's like, you've noticed them, it's something you're interested in, can you give me a hand kind of way, Yeah.
Right.
So like game plan would be like you approach them, you're like, hey, how much does a polar bear weigh?
Oh god, don't do that. Don't do that.
How much does a Tarrasque weigh?
Uh-oh.
There you go.
Enough to fuck your shit up. No, I'm
Yep.
not gonna play. Sorry. I'm out.
Yep.
I think that hang on, I had a good one. Let me get it back. Oh, instead of watching them and then going up to them and telling them you watched them, learn everything you can about the game that they're playing and their characters, and then just one day sit down with your own character and just start playing.
Wrong.
Act like you're there.
You had me until then. If you want to, if you don't know anything about the game, but you're interested about it, first approach I would do is just say, hey, you know what? I'm interested. I see you guys here all the time. Do you mind if I just sit and spectate your game for a while, kind of learn and see what's going on? And then after a couple sessions of that, see, hey, you know what? I think I'm comfortable. Can I make a character and can I jump in?
Yeah.
And I think that'll be a good approach. It'll get you familiar with them familiar with you. You'll kind of see how, the GM or the DM or whatever game they're playing,
Yeah.
how he runs things, and see if that will be something that will be your style. Because there's some DMs you just don't mesh with. You won't mesh with.
Also,
I don't know your experience as a player. I don't know your experience as a player. I'm assuming you're at a nerd bar. You're at least familiar with some news, but with some you have some exposure anyway. But I don't know you're in depth. So I would say definitely just sit there and kind of spectate for a few, get a feel for the group, a feel for the room, and then go from there.
Yep, I'll agree with that.
You said that you're at a bar. It wouldn't hurt to buy the table of beer, saying, or whatever. If they're drinking, then wouldn't hurt to in order to, use that social lubricant that we call alcohol.
Yeah, man. If they're playing D&D and they're in a fight and they're getting hurt, bring them over a couple beers and tell them that they're healing potions.
Yeah.
Be
That'd
like,
be
yo,
tight.
man, heal up.
I see you guys. I see you guys getting messed up.
Webby, that's my next character. I'm just going to carry mead, and it's not going to be healing potions. I'm just going to be a healer that gives you mead. It's like, oh no, it's a healing potion. It's fine.
I've been working on a drunkard class. We can work
No.
something out.
No, I just want him to be delusional and him think they're all healing potions, and his teammates are dying. He's like, I
Oh.
got you. Just throwing heal potions
Just
at people.
shoving meat down their throat. Just drink it. It'll heal you.
This didn't
got
happen.
you.
No.
Get them too drunk to realize that.
Hey,
Drunk away the pain.
Devin's going to be like, I'm going to go over and heal Austin. It's like, okay, Austin, roll a con save. You're getting drunk.
I don't know what this is, but it's my favorite.
Edquist, do you have anything to chime in on this particular nerd bar topic?
And the only other thing I could say is sit at a different table and pretend that your game is more interesting.
While you're sitting there by yourself, like, yeah, this, and then roll dice, and just like give them the thumbs up from across the room.
Just every now and then you yell out like excited.
Oh man, I can't believe how cool it is, game.
Thank you for the host.
This is cool.
Oh my god.
Okay, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna go back up the list. O from Orlando. What animal most closely resembles you? I'm gonna say right away, probably a bear.
I was going to answer for Webby. How you do it?
Yeah. So, Austin, what about you? What animal do you think closely resembles you?
A pug.
Oh,
Oh no.
I don't know.
there goes Austin. Giving
I would
pugs a
say
bad name.
I would say like a golden retriever
All right.
All right, Devin.
or a chocolate lab.
See, part of me wants to say a bear. Part of me wants to say like a wolf. I just like being alone. Like I like being that lone wolf. Like I do great in a pack, but I'm perfectly fine alone.
Oh, I thought you meant what do they look like? Like
I mean, I went with the physical.
Physical,
physically.
That's a hard.
Although I can
question.
become territorial, so I mean that is kind of a bear trait. I'm very
bear
protective
move.
of my cubs.
Physical.
You guys
let's
are all
see.
my cubs.
I am the happiest
cutie.
cub. I am the happiest cub. You know
I'm
what?
the
I'll be a
troublesome
cub.
cub.
There we go. I'm a cub.
I think everybody here just goes bear cub.
Kangaroo. There you go.
Tight.
So you would be a T-Rex deer.
Yes.
That's what the kangaroo
that
is.
is an accurate description of a kangaroo. I like that. T-Rex deer.
No, not exactly. A kangaroo will fuck you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so wouldn't a
kangaroo will fuck
T-Rex
you up.
or a
But
deer.
in a different way.
Have you ever
In a
seen
different
Tommy
way.
Boy? You don't put a deer in the backseat of a car.
This is just for Webby. The animal that most closely represents me is Old Boy.
Oh, no, not like this.
Oh, Yeller. Oh, Yeller.
Tamara, what about you?
Most closely resemble physically.
Physically, emotionally,
Spiritually.
mentally. Yeah, I mean, whatever. We're kind of all over the spectrum at this point.
Goldfish.
Physically, angry vulture.
No.
Okay.
No.
You ever seen a side view of my face, man? It's not great.
No. Vulture is that guy from that game me where you played.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
They had a schnoz.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Emotionally, I don't know. A cat high on catnip, I guess. Not quite all there.
Okay.
Kind of twitchy.
Okay.
Not sure what I'm doing.
All right, I could get that. Yeah.
I think
got that.
like internally, I'm definitely like a turkey.
Externally, you're a horse. You're a horse.
Oh.
Edquist, what about you?
West Indian manatee.
Well, that's very specific.
Yep.
Very specific.
Yeah, when I was in my 20s, we went to a toy store at the mall once, and there were like different animals. I think it was for the Environmental Protection Agency. Like you bought one, and you sent them money. And one of the ones you could get was a West Indian manatee. And when you squeezed it, it said, "I am a West Indian manatee." It said, "My nickname is I like to eat and rest." I was like, those are my favorite things. So I bought it.
Oh my God.
See, yeah, you just confirmed I am even more like a bear now because I'd like to eat during the spring and summer months, and I'd want to just sleep all winter.
I'm a sloth.
A flump.
Just leave me alone.
Flump.
I'm also eating queso, so there you go. But
All right, so moving
I'm a dragon.
on. Get that. Chris, did you answer this question?
I didn't.
Oh, what was your answer?
Three-toed sloth.
Well,
Or a pangolin.
a pangolin.
Yeah.
All right.
That's Chris's favorite.
I got
if
a
we're going on
comic book,
personality, a
I got a
goose.
comic
Fucking
book question.
Canadian
here.
geese.
A rogue from Reno. What comic characters team up to 4 individuals? Would make the best band? What type of music would they play, and what would they be called? Jesus, that's a complicated question.
Up to 4. Whoever gets it first, come in.
Cloak and Dagger with Cable and Deadpool, and they play death metal.
Okay. All right. What would you call their band? Or do you not? You don't have to answer that one. I don't think I'm going to be able to come up with a band name on the spot like this.
Never Dead.
Oh, all right.
What did it say? Comic book characters?
Yeah, what comic characters
Okay.
team up to 4 individuals? So you don't have to have 4, but it has to be up to 4. Would make the best band? What type of music would they play, and what would they be called?
This is take some time.
I can already tell you. Okay, hold on. I think I got mine. No, I don't. Hold on. I got 2. I got 2 members.
I know I have some. Oh, I have to look him up because I think I know his name. Is it cheating if I Google?
No, I mean if you gotta look
Right.
up a comic book character, do it up. See, I need work on mine because I would choose Phoenix, Jean Grey, because she could telekinetically use like the
I got it.
drums and play the drums,
got
and then be her own background dancer. And then I would do Jubilee because she's jamming out on keyboards. Plus, she could do pyro, like pyrotechnics for people.
Yep, she's in mine. She's in mine.
I just don't know who else I would have or
I got
what
mine.
I would call them.
I got one.
Well, if you want pyrotechnics, add Dazzler
Oh yeah, I could do that.
Dazzler's in mine.
and Jubilee.
He already said Jubilee.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
And then I did Jean Grey because she could play the drums without playing them, and then just be her own backup dancer.
Mhm.
I've got mine.
Okay, what's up? You do yours.
Rogue of the X-Men on bass.
Okay.
X-23 as the front woman, and Spider-Gwen on drums.
Oh, good.
And then I'd have Jean Grey on guitar. So it'd be an all-female punk band. And they would be called... Fuck, I thought I'd be able to come up with something on the fly.
Oh, I got mine.
I think I have mine also.
I have mine too.
Mine's a cop out.
You go, Edquist, second. I don't.
I don't have a band name, but yeah, that'd be my four.
I got my 4, but I don't have a band name either.
All right.
Okay.
Edquist.
All right. Yeah,
Mine would be Blink, Cloak, Nightcrawler, and Psylocke, and they would be called Here, There, and Everywhere.
Nice. Like it. What kind of music? It sounds
Yeah.
very punk to me, but
yeah,
you know,
punk probably. I was gonna say punk, yeah.
nice.
I said funk, like Motown. just because I don't know, like just imagining Nightcrawler on bass.
All right, I'm gonna go with it. I have Black Bolt, Siren, and Mantis. So, and they're called Busted Eardrums, and they do death metal.
Okay.
I like it.
All right. Devin, who's
My
yours?
4, I'm going to go with Dazzler, Jubilee, Music Meister, and Scott Pilgrim.
All right.
Scott Pilgrim. Nice.
Nice.
Fair, yeah.
I know John will appreciate that.
Mine, I do not have a band name. Oh, what kind of music would they play?
Rock for sure.
Okay. Mine is a one-man band. I am choosing.
Just Gambit.
It's multiple man.
Yes. Multiple man does whatever a multiple can. Sorry, go ahead.
He plays.
He's my favorite character.
He plays blues, and I don't have a band name because
Man times Infinity.
Bam!
Man X Infinity. There you
Bam! Right there.
Nice.
His first album is called Playing With Myself.
No, his first
Yes.
album is called
Yes.
Me, Myself, and I.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there are
Playing
those
with
answers.
Playing with
I
me,
love
myself,
multiple
and I.
man.
Okay.
go. I hope
So
X Factor Investigations.
okay. Next question. A Hobbit in Colorado. How much time we got? We still got a little time. Okay, good. A Hobbit in Colorado. How do you not talk to people at work without coming off as unfriendly, grumpy, or goth?
Just put on the ring and don't talk to him at all.
Depends on your job.
Yeah, I would say that would depend on your job.
Depends on the
Because
job. If
I
you
work
can
in a
have
wood
headphones-
shop, so I just put my head down and build shit. And if I don't talk to somebody, it's like, oh, I can't hear you. Sorry.
Yeah, and if you work at a bank, that's kind of hard to do
Yeah.
because you got to talk to people. You have to.
As a dog trainer, I can't. I mean, I guess I could try just pointing at stuff and.
But would that, would that make you come off as unfriendly or grumpy? That's the trick there. Because like the second anybody starts talking to me, just my look of non-enthusiastic
Disgusting the human race.
Yeah, like I'm just naturally coming off unfriendly or grumpy, regardless. So,
My advice is risky.
oh boy, here we go. Don't open with the polar bear.
First,
joke.
you get a Shetland pony.
and then you never mind. No. Pretend
Why
you're
fill a
deaf, and when people say stuff to you, just make hand signs, even if you don't know sign language, and eventually they'll be like, "Well,
That sucks until you run into somebody that knows sign language. You're like,
that's what I'm saying. That's why it's risky because you could find somebody that actually knows."
one risky boy.
If you don't want to talk to people, if you just put your head down and like get on with your
Yay.
work,
Thanks, Goose.
then if you're in a for instance an office job where you have a cubicle and you have to get your stuff done, just if you don't want to talk to people, say, look, I'm really behind. I would love to continue to talk to you, but I'm behind on work, and then put in earbuds and just jam out on trying to get work done. Doesn't matter if there's anything playing, but your earbuds probably should be connected to something.
No, I flash back to that Kevin Hart joke. You're just dancing around, and then he's like, "Those headphones ain't connected to shit."
Right? No, but like
I think you
don't
should make
like
a
jam
little-
out.
Crazy.
Go hard on your job for the next like 5 minutes until they.
I think you should make a little cardboard sign with a stick, and then anytime you see someone approaching, just hold it up and just have it say "Go away."
Easiest way to do this, I got this in the bag.
Oh
Easy
yeah,
way to
no,
do
we're
this?
not supposed to be grumpy. Okay, I got you.
Easiest
Yeah,
way to do
no,
this, I got this in the
Don't
bag.
do mine.
Or you could make like a cardboard sign that says like it's up for conversation, and then on the back you could flip it over and it says "in the zone." So you just permanently have it twisted around in the zone. So you're like, just typing away.
You guys are
doing your
overcomplicating
spreadsheets and
this.
shit.
Overcomplicating this. You want the easiest answer to this question?
Yeah.
Show up to work wearing a surgical mask and gloves.
Oh yeah, people will think you're sick and they won't want to come near
No
you.
one will talk to you. No one will
True.
come near you,
True that.
and you don't have to say shit all day. And they
Wow,
won't
this
be
guy,
better.
this guy has been
Show
sick
up
for the
wearing a
past 6
painter's
years.
mask.
They're
Show
over-
up wearing a gas mask with smoke grenades.
You could pull the fire alarm. Don't do that.
Don't
That's
do
not.
that.
That's not going to get you out of
No.
talking to people.
No.
That's just going to have more people yelling, running like idiots.
What do they not want? They don't want you to be rude.
Yeah.
And what was it?
How do you not talk to people without coming off as unfriendly or grumpy?
Okay, you
Stop
can come
caring
off
about being
as
friendly.
creepy and just smile really wide anytime anyone approaches you, and they'll be like,
Stand too close.
The
Watch
second
that
they start
episode-
talking
watch
to
that
you,
episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog, where the one barber dude just mimic him.
just
You
the
will be
second
creepy
someone
immediately.
starts talking to you, get overly excited and say, "Are we best friends now?" And they will probably walk away.
See, but Webby, if you have the person that latches on to that, then you should be
Yeah, then
terrified
you're screwed.
because
Then
then
you're screwed.
they're never going to leave.
It's a roll of the dice at this point.
Keep a jar of cotton balls near you, and when somebody starts talking, them at their face.
just slowly throw stuff at them until they go away. I love that idea. That's great.
Or just
Oh
like
my
stand
God.
too close. Just
Make them prove their worth. Like they
within
show
that-
up, like
that
you start throwing
personal
like
boundary.
tennis balls. They show up with a tennis racket the next day, talking like swatting them back.
Or
Like,
do
they're
the
really-
do
they're
the very
dedicated.
very slow motion, like lick your finger and start moving it slowly towards their ear, like you are going to give them a wet willy if they don't leave.
Austin, what's the goal? We're trying. It's 24. Yeah.
That's yeah.
All right. So moving away past that question, hopefully we answered your question, Hobbit from Colorado. Next is going to be from X. Gonna give it to you. This is a would you rather question. Would you rather cry every time you had sex or burp every time someone kissed you?
You guys don't already do that, both of them.
wait. Why do I only have to choose one?
Oh, well, I mean, it's a would you rather. So, I mean, if you want both, you sure can have both, I suppose.
Yes.
I think sex cry.
Edquist, what about
Just-
you?
Being able to kiss my girlfriend.
Sorry,
and-
I was
and
putting
burp in her
the
face would be
donation link in the
amazing.
chat. What was the question?
Would you rather
Every time.
cry every time you had sex or burp every time someone kissed you?
Burp every time someone kissed me.
Now, I see. This is where I want more information. Is it one of these like little kind of like soft burps where it's just like air coming up, or is it like a big belch? Like, I don't know. I think I'd want the belch. Tamara, what about you?
Belch.
Belch. Austin, what
I'm
about
sorry.
you?
If I cried every time I had... never mind, I cry every time I have sex anyways. It's so sad. No, I'm kidding. Anyways.
That got real for a minute there.
I'm kidding.
X gonna get.
No,
I'd
it's
choose the
definitely
belch
the
because
burp.
I would like a change of pace.
Austin, which would you pick?
I get if you kiss somebody on the cheek, do you burp?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
period.
doesn't spell. It just says every time you get kissed, you burp.
If
Yeah,
you
I'm
never
cool
make
with
out with
that.
somebody, it's a problem. Like every time you one kiss is like burp, one
Right.
kiss, another kiss, burp.
Burp
Another
tongue,
kiss,
burp
Yep,
tongue.
Weird.
burps are- yep.
Well, I mean, do you cry during sex or after?
Every
After.
time you had sex, yeah, you cry. So after.
I'll take that one.
All right, Devin.
I would take the crying after sex. Can I also have that A-count song playing in the background as well?
Sure. All right. So I think everybody answered that one. Chris is the only one who wanted both for some reason. Okay, next would
Because
you
why
rather?
limit myself?
W from Winnipesaukee.
What?
Yep, that's a town. Shut up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hey, there's a dildo in Canada.
I can respect dildo.
Hey, this has to do with dildos. So,
All right.
Oh,
Oh,
hey!
jeez.
would you rather have your body found on a pile of sex toys or a pile of drugs? I can honestly answer, I'd want both.
I mean,
Sex toys and drugs.
If
Like,
I'm-
one hand
dead, I'm going
washes
out like
the
a
other,
hero.
you know? Like, how do I get through all the sex toys? Drugs? How did I acquire all these drugs? Sex
see,
toys.
Exactly. I feel like you could see if you're found with both. I feel like you could describe both of them. Like, if the cops bust in your room and you're just on this mountain of dildos and drugs, you say, "Well, no, hear me out."
Well, you
Put the
wouldn't
cuffs
because
away.
it's your body. You're dead.
I was smuggling drugs and I used a sex toy business as a cover up. And then vice versa, I was doing a lot of drugs and I thought it was a good idea to invest in a lot of sex toys. So you can explain it either way. Both work in your favor.
One hand washes the other.
Exactly. But it's like if it's just one, you're just weird. Like you're that guy that just went out, on like 2,000 pounds of coke.
So, Devin, does that mean that you're siding with me and the answer is both?
Yeah.
Both.
Okay.
I mean, it
That's the
doesn't say
only-
that your
That's the
death
only
is
answer.
related. It doesn't say that your death is related to either one, so you're just lying on the pile.
Yeah,
and
it's just this is where your
You're-
body is found.
your head's been cut off or something.
I like to think that whoever killed me in this instance cut off my head and then tried to reattach it using a dildo. Just like, we'll just stick
They
this in the neck
replaced it
hole
with
and
a
shove the
dildo.
head on top of that.
No, he cut off your head to use your head as a dildo.
Ugh, man,
There you
that
go.
gets into a whole different topic for us. So Austin, you didn't answer. What would you pick?
Drugs.
Okay, Tamara.
Oh, see, it's a whole other context, me being female, so that's... Oh,
Not really.
a little bit.
You can choose both. That is I am making that an option because that's the one I chose.
I want to die with
Sex
a fistful
toys
of
filled with drugs?
I mean, that's
Oh.
possible. Why not?
Let's go with that one.
I'm into that one. I'm with that one.
All right.
Dildos made from drugs.
Who knows what kind of ways you can get these
Tightly
drugs into your
compressed
body?
cocaine.
saying like
Uh,
just a dildo coated with THC.
No PCP.
Oh
Okay.
my.
Oh my god, he
Uh,
wants to have the best time.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna die on THC.
That's what I said is me.
all right. Let's see.
I mean, I will also say both, since you didn't ask me, but
I thought I had asked you. I thought
Oh.
man, there's a lot of people for me to try to balance while reading questions and trying to keep track of time. Edquist. Forgive
'cause,
me.
it's fine.
Okay.
But one of the others ain't. If you're only on one, but both maybe. Like, guess what was found today on a pile of drugs and sex toys?
A man.
Connecticut man found on buttloads of drugs.
They walk in, they're like, "How did this West Indian manatee get all these sex choices?"
And why are all these bears? Why are all these bears surrounding him, crying? That bears could go, either way.
Moving right along.
So this one is from a wizard in Wales.
Okay.
If you could know the absolute and total truth about one question, what question would you ask?
Ooh.
Where's Bigfoot right now?
Okay.
What are next week's lottery numbers?
See, I would probably do something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Nah, man. Bigfoot's priceless.
No, lottery. I don't need priceless. I need money. Yeah. I'm with Edquist. I
Here.
think I'd probably go
Any
with future
question?
lottery numbers.
Any question?
Any question. One question, you would know the absolute and total truth to that one question.
Does Bruno Mars is gay?
No, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean,
It's a Game Grumps reference for anybody out there who watches. No? Okay.
Tamara, do you have a question that you would want to know the absolute total truth to?
Well, I'm gonna get sappy here on you guys, but
There goes our
it would
lottery
be,
answer.
am I doing right by my daughter? That's the one that eats at me every day, so that's the one I want to know. Sorry, went sappy.
I
No, that's
was-
fine, but I think I can answer it for you, is the thing. But I have to ask you another question in return.
Okay.
Do you try your hardest?
Yeah.
Then yes, you are.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Also, if that's the question that concerns you every day, yes, you probably are.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. If that crosses your mind, then you're probably safe to say you're in the good parent category.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tough though. It's tough to balance that. It's not something like you can have people tell you that every day, and it's still gonna eat at you.
Right, which is why I asked if, as long as you're doing your hardest, then you're doing what you can, and that's all anyone can ever ask of you. People can't ask you to do more than what you're capable of. Yeah, I mean that's my opinion on that one. So I think you're good, Tamara.
Agreed.
And I'm the
Well,
goddamn host of the show, and my word is final. Okay, because I am our wordsmith, and words are hard. Beautiful.
Okay, here we go again.
Beautiful. Anyway, who did it? Devin, what would you choose?
Same answer as you and Rob.
Okay, so we're becoming rich, but we we gotta word it differently then. Otherwise, we're sharing the jackpot. So like Rob has to ask, what is
We'll
next
ask
week's
on different days.
jackpot? I will
We'll
ask,
ask on different days.
what is the jackpot going to be for this week? Yes, that way we can get different jackpots. Hell, I might even do a different lottery just so the jackpot might be higher. Yeah, it's a tricky situation, that one. Chris wanted
People say money
Bigfoot.
can't
Austin,
buy
what did you want?
I do lottery too, but I would ask what were the answers to you, Edquist, and Devin's questions and get all of y'all's lottery.
And then I will beat you with just.
Ooh,
I will beat you with a spoon.
That is tricky. All right, where are we at for time? We got a couple more, and then we'll do closings. Let's see. Oh God, that one's. Okay. Fuck it, I'll ask
Take us
it.
out on like a super depressing note.
No, I wasn't gonna do that. This one's I mean, I from Indy. What kind of porn turns you on?
Oh.
God.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Consensual.
Well, I mean, do you? How is it consensual? Do you write into the porn stars and ask, "Is it okay if I'm watching this?"
No, I mean
Like,
no. I'm saying like,
hey, I found your
can-
video. Can I beat off to this? Are you okay with that as a person?
I was more referring to
Are you okay
the
with porn? I
those in the video.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah,
So basically anything other than rape fantasy type stuff.
Right.
right.
All right.
Okay.
That's very broad.
Also, like I like the intimacy of stuff.
Did you break up
So-
reading my lips by me?
Yeah, he broke
Okay.
up.
Hey, bro.
Oh,
That was
I
the first
like
time to
the
break up. It was
intimacy.
like, I
Of,
like intimacy of. Yeah.
I like the intimacy of home stuff. So,
Okay, you did it again.
He's doing that on purpose.
Oh.
Homemade
Does
stuff.
that involve
Homemade
kazoos?
stuff.
home-
Gotcha.
homemade stuff.
Homemade stuff.
Amateur.
Okay.
I can
All
get
right.
down with amateur.
Yeah,
I can get down with
amateur.
amateur.
Okay, yeah, I can get down with it. Yeah. Austin, what about
Amateur's
you?
always a good palate cleanser. It's a good palate cleanser.
I've been on the MILF kick lately.
Fair.
I don't-
Fair.
Fair.
No, that's
That is
fair.
fair game. Fair
I
play.
like the intimacy of seeing a MILF getting plowed. Is that too bad?
Oh my God.
Well, Kurt, I will say Kurt says he loves the ones with great story and good dialogue. Okay. Tamara, what about you? Austin, God damn it. I'm into the intimacy of seeing MILFs get plowed. It's just all right.
Oh God. I'm a generic mix. I like a little bit of everything.
All right.
I will say though that generally it's whatever I usually manage to come up with in my whole head during roleplay and stuff. So
Okay.
let's
So
leave it at that.
all
I'll just
right.
leave it at that.
that's fair. That's fair.
You mean like while we're playing Vamp? Roleplay?
Well,
Don't know what you're talking about, Rob. Shut up.
I'm gonna go into each vamp session in a whole new light now.
Yeah, with the condom
That
on.
didn't make things awkward at all. Thanks, Rob.
Consensually.
Hey Abel, look what I did. No, I can't. I don't
no,
want to.
no,
That's
no.
good. I'm good. I have to go do things over here now.
Why do you have all that drugs?
Where'd you get this mountain of cocaine and dildos?
Where'd you get this flashlight full of pills?
All right, everybody load up the cart. Oh, the cart's full. Cocaine and dildos. Gotcha.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to do something about it.
Edquist, what about you?
Gay porn?
All right.
That's fair. I mean, come on, yeah.
Here.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I like guys in uniforms, like cops,
Oh, all
firemen,
right.
delivery guys, stuff like that.
The fucking FedEx guy.
Yeah,
See? Look at that.
yeah. That's why when he's here, I take it a lot.
That Gambit cosplay I showed you.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I
Rob
didn't
gets a
die.
package
Devin-
and he answers
Devin, what
it in
about
a
you?
towel, and he's like, "Oh,
I didn't hear the question.
Oh, what kind of porn are you into?
Oh, I already answered that question.
Oh. What was your answer again?
Oh my God,
I
that's
agree with
Robin.
Chris on
Oh,
amateur. I mean,
gotcha.
amateur,
Yeah,
what
all
it
right.
is, but I mean, I use amateur as like a palate cleanser.
You know what I
I'm
use
very,
for
I'm
palate
very widely
cleansers?
versed in my porn.
You know what I like for palate cleansers are the parody ones.
Yes, those are always fun.
Okay.
Yeah,
Those
those are
are
fun.
always fun.
Those are fun.
Yep.
All right. I think we have time for one more. Do you guys want a serious question? Do you want another? If I can find another goofy one.
Let's find something dopey and end on a high note.
Wait, did
Yes.
you answer that one, Webby?
That was our high note.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I just said palate cleansers. I like the parody ones, but
Parody.
I don't know. I'm kind of a mix. I like. There's really not anything out there that I don't like. Very open. How's that?
Fair enough.
Let's see if I have something to. Okay, sure. Here's a question from Z from Zion. When
Where's
you
Chris for V for Vendetta? Where's V for Vendetta?
when you eat dinner at someone else's house and they serve you peas, do you have to eat them? Fuck no. Okay.
No!
I hate peas. And it got to the point where my mom would put peas in all of our Thanksgiving. She'd always make peas. She fucking loves them. I don't know. But I would just start shoving them up my nose and launching them across the table until people stopped serving me peas. Okay? I hate them.
No, here.
They slaved.
And then,
and worked
no, get this.
And
They opened a frozen bag
Get
or
this.
a can. They didn't
They-
slay over shit.
No, hold
made
on.
you
Yeah,
that
no, they
food.
opened the can. They didn't make shit. Anyway, we for Christmas as a gag, me and my dad gave my mom a big shopping bag just full of canned peas that we've accrued over, months and months and months. And she turned around and made a fucking pie and put a bunch of peas in it. Like a meat
Nice.
pie. It was like, oh, there's peas
No.
in this.
I hate cooked peas, but you give me fresh peas out of the garden that I can sit there and shuck myself, and I will eat them. Or snow peas. I will
Also
only
snap
eat them raw.
I would have
Snap peas, no peas, or
snow
freshly
peas,
shucked
sugar
peas.
snap peas. Those I will eat.
See, I'm the same
Fucking
way, Tamara,
green
with
peas,
carrots.
little green peas. Fuck
No. Have you ever raided the garden and picked them yourself and ate them fresh off the vine? It's the only fucking way to eat them. It's the best way to
And
eat
see,
them.
Well, I have, but
I'm the same way with carrots.
I'm
Like
burned on
I
peas.
hate cooked carrots, but I like raw carrots.
Yeah.
Austin, what about you?
The frozen peas I don't like, so I would not eat. But like canned peas with butter and salt and pepper,
Oh,
I
canned.
love. I
I
love
would
them.
eat frozen over canned. Oh my god, canned peas are mush.
Now here's
I like
the
that. I
here's
like
here's
that.
the weirdness to this question though is if you went to someone's house and they served you peas, would you just
Nope.
would you just
Yes,
outright
ask
tell
them-
them I'm
ask
not
them
eating those?
peas.
Ask them what?
No, all I heard was you breaking up.
Yeah.
Yours over
Oh.
at some housing.
Oh,
Peas.
well, the part of the question is if you're over at someone's house and they serve you peas, would you just tell them I don't like peas, I'm not eating these, or?
I would ask
just
for
leave
a
them on
lot
the
of
plate.
butter, and then I would eat some of them.
So Tamara would make the effort.
No,
I would probably,
would-
probably with Edquist, I'd leave them on the plate.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm
No,
not.
nobody gives a
them.
fuck
I
if
would
you're
just-
eating the peas.
Yeah, I would just leave them on the plate and not eat them.
nobody cares.
I'd eat some. I'd eat, even if I didn't like them, I'd eat some. And
You take one bite.
I'll tell you what. If somebody
One
you're
decent
over at
spoonful.
somebody's house and somebody gives you shit because you didn't eat your peas, you say, "I'll tell you what. You're so worried about these peas. I'll take your other piece of chicken for these fucking peas."
trade
I'll
them.
trade you.
I think
If
for
they
me,
say no, you tell them to shut the fuck up.
it's like a Southern hospitality thing.
Yeah, I got you there.
We'll do some Halloween candy thing right here.
Don't get me wrong. I love.
Straight
I
up
love
trades, dude.
I hate candy corn.
That was
Oh, fuck
I don't
candy
blame you.
corn.
Fucking.
I only like peas if they're in something like a soup or a stew or like a chicken pot pie. If
Yep,
it's just
yep,
plain, I
yep.
cannot eat them.
Yep. I agree.
Peas are a filler. We're all in agreement.
okay. Well, that's all the questions we could get through on this episode of Simply Unprofessional. I'm pretty sure that's all the time we got, right, Rob?
Just about.
Okay.
Yep.
So thank you all for listening. Thank you for joining this particular episode. Austin, where can
You
people
cut out.
find you on the internet? I'm
You
cutting
never
out
did.
probably, right?
You are.
Yes.
That's fine. I'm just going to scream in horror and start rage smashing my computer desk.
Don't do
Somebody
that.
give him some peas.
So, yeah. Austin, where can people find you on the internet?
You guys can find me at CZL300 or the Pack Pot. I haven't said that in forever.
Yeah. Also, again, as usual, send Austin's Twitter horse pics, dick pics, and any other type of pics you can send to him. I just want to flood his Twitter with pictures.
That's the negri.
No,
already
that's
know
for,
what's up,
that's for
girl.
Clay. That has to go through me first.
I know.
Tamara, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Dance in the Abyss.
Do you want to give out your Twitch schedule so people know when they can look for you?
Yep. I stream almost every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday around about 6 to 6:30 Mountain Standard Time, which is 8:30ish Eastern Standard Time. I will sometimes throw in some extras, and also, if I'm not on at that time, I will be on soonish because I've got a kid and shit happens.
Yep. Chris, where can people find you on the interwebs?
Yeah, Instagram, that's the word. Yeah, you guys can follow me on Instagram at DMP_Chris. Just like my my Discord name over here. Feel free to add me on Instagram and yeah.
Okay. Edquist, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Confessor_X, and you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/ConfessorX, and I stream on Mondays, Fridays, and Thursdays, and then every once in a while I'll throw in some on Wednesday or Saturday if I'm not busy.
All right. And Devin?
You guys can find me on Twitter at DMP_Pookie and on Twitch at PooKilledMe. And you can find me every Friday with my main man, Webby, and a lot of the times joined by various guests streaming and getting really salty at games.
True statement. And as always, guys, you guys can follow me on Twitter at JaxForestWalker, all one word. I'm also on Instagram. I don't know my Instagram name.
Patrick.Webster52.
Yeah.
There you go. Look for that. Give me a follow. I do check Instagram. I'm just not good at the name. You guys can follow me on Twitch at DMWebby. Again, every Friday with Devin and guests. And I usually accompany Edquist on his Monday stream. So with that being said,
actually, surprisingly enough.
Yep.
as always, everybody, until next time, fuck Booster Gold.